Good morning, everybody. Matt Moda here to give you my favorite NBA player prop picks today. We're talking Thursday, March 27th. The Splash Zone is back in your life. I'm going to have 5 NBA player prop picks for you guys to lock in for tonight's NBA betting slate. Very confident in the 5 plays that we have on tap for tonight. Of course, before we can get into tonight's picks, we do have to do a recap from yesterday, which if you sense a little bit of a pep in my step, it's because yesterday was amazing. We swept the board. We got all 5 of our plays right yesterday. LeBron James, we took him over 1.5 first quarter rebounds. I think he might have cashed with like 2 seconds left in the first quarter. Still counts all the same. And then we cashed out Brook Lopez, Luka, Jaylen Brown, Justin Edwards, all of them over their first quarter point prop. The Luka one was a little bit lucky to cash out because I think he scored exactly 9 points and he was 3 of 3 from 3-point range. So didn't really get the volume that we'd expect from Luka, but started fast from deep and we're good to go there. So 5-0 yesterday, up 5 units. Amazing day yesterday. And what I ended up doing was, so this week is when I started fully diving into the first quarter point props. So it's only been 3 days since I've done this, right? It's obviously a small sample size. You don't want to make too many sweeping decisions off of a small sample size. But it's been really good. In this stretch, we've been up 8.81 units, and we've only lost 3 of our bets. We went 4-1 the first day. We went 3-2 the second day, and then yesterday we went 5-0. So 5 plus 4 plus 3, whatever that is how many we've won, and we've only lost 3. So it's been really, really good with this new strategy of only diving into the first quarter. We're going to see how this goes. Now, I know that some people have reached out and said that they can't bet the first quarter based on the sports books that they use. So I'm going to do my best to give people in the video pivots, whether I would take the full game for this player or whether there is another bet that I like. And then I'm also going to give out leans in the games that I like as well for people to lock in that can't bet the first quarter, because I do want to make sure that I can be as helpful as possible. But regardless, that now brings our total profit on the year up over 33 units. I think this is a season high in terms of units profited. We've been over the 30 unit mark a couple times, but I don't think that we were able to get the 33 over that number. So that's pretty good, up just under 6%. I mean, basically 6% ROI as well. Isn't amazing. Last year was a lot better, but hey, I can't keep talking about last year. And look, it's been a slog of a season. You see like on the markets, a lot more red than you saw last year, but up 33 units, up 6% ROI. When you take a step back, isn't terrible. So let's hope we can continue the luck with these first quarter bangers. We're going to get into today's picks now. I have Props Madness up on the screen here, my favorite NBA betting tool. I put a link to them in the description of the video as well as the pinned comment. So if you're watching the video and you want to check them out, I gave you the link to do so. First play here. I do have a play in the Mavericks versus the Magic game, and I took Anthony Davis on the first quarter points. So I took him over 5.5, minus 110 odds at Bet365. It actually was minus 105 at ESPN Bet, but that number now moved to minus 115. I'm still good at minus 110, which you can get at a couple books. If these are no longer available, I'm also still good taking it to minus 115 as well. Now, for Anthony Davis, obviously the biggest thing here is he's only played 2 games with the Mavericks. The important thing here is he's gone over in both of those games, right? I mean, and there's a couple things that I like about this. Number one, I mean, extended absence, extended time off, however you want to phrase that, between both of these games. And he still went over in both. Now, his first game with the Mavericks, played 11 minutes in the first quarter, scored 14 points, clearly came out, heard all the noise about the Luka trade, came out with a vengeance. That was only like 10 days off, so it wasn't a ton of time off. Well, this was a lot more. I mean, he had a serious abductor injury, missed about 6 weeks, if not more, immediately came back, played 8 minutes, which isn't a ton, but he played 8 minutes and he took 4 shots. Now, Anthony Davis is one of those guys that likes to start fast. So I like the fact that even after missing 6 weeks, he still played 8 minutes and he still put up shots. So you would expect him to play more minutes tonight. I'm projecting him between the 8 and 10 minute mark. I don't think he'll quite get to 11 that he did his first game with the Mavs, but that's also possible. I mean, the only reason why Anthony Davis is coming back, even though it's a totally lost season for the Mavericks, losing Kyrie Irving and a bunch of other guys, it's just a pride thing at this point. So I think he's really going to want to come out and play well. And if we look at him this year, between 8 and 10 minutes, so we took out this one game, we took out this one game here, his first game with the Mavs. We're only looking between 8 and 10 minutes because that's probably what he's going to play. Now, I get that this 22 of these 23 games are with a different team. I just kind of wanted to highlight his success in the first quarter, it's scoring over 5.5 points in the first quarter in 82% of his games in which he plays between 8 and 10 minutes. So we're taking out the outliers on both the high and the high and the low on both ends, and it's still really, really good. So I think AD is going to be a first quarter king for us for the rest of the year. Again, it's 2-0 as a member of the Mavericks. And one game he played 11 minutes, the other game he played 8, still went over in both of them. So I really like this one. Anthony Davis over 5.5 first quarter points. He is not one where I would take his full game because you see he only ended up scoring 12 points in that game. So half of his points came in the first quarter. So I would not take his full game. I would actually leave that one out. But I do have situations where I would take their full game. So it's not the only one with Anthony Davis. And again, I will give you guys some leans as well. So the next play I have here is Lakers versus Bulls. I don't need to spend a ton of time on this one. It's Luka Doncic over. So you could either go over 8.5 minus 130 odds at Hard Rock. This was minus 125 at ESPN Bet, and that was going to be my official pick. That unfortunately moved. I wasn't even able to send that out to my Tails account, so the people on the Tails account got this Luka one. I took him for 10 plus points plus 110 odds at Bet365. This is the exact bet that I locked in, this Luka Doncic 10 plus points plus 110. As you can see, that's the official bet. So Luka, it's the second half of a back-to-back, so if that scares you off, I wouldn't blame you, but I'm just looking at like how he has been with the Lakers. It's over 9.5 points in the first quarter in 11 of 16 games. And there's a couple games where he scored exactly 9. This game right here, put up 7 shots, went 1 of 4 from deep, and he had a 3-pointer called back because his foot was on the line. So he technically cashed this one, and then he didn't cash it. Ended with 9 points. And then this game against the Pacers, I said he was 3 for 3 from 3-point range. I phrased that incorrectly. He cashed it on 3 3-pointers. But again, 6 shots is good for Luka, who also gets to the line a ton as well. So even though he missed this last game, I'm not really scared off of it. The other games, it's 11 of 16. You look at him in games specifically with LeBron James. Again, you want to take out the first 3 games. It's 7 of 11, 2 times scoring exactly 9 points. Now, they are on the second half of a back-to-back, and I actually would take his full game over. If you can get Luka over, I'd honestly take over 30.5 or the over 29.5 at DraftKings as well. So if you can't bet first quarter, I would take Luka's full game. Now, the risk here is that he just played he just played 38 minutes last night, so he's going to be on the second half of a back-to-back, and they're having to travel from Indianapolis to Chicago. So I think if he plays, his first quarter minutes are going to be normal. Like if you look at him on a back-to-back with LeBron, he went over his full game total, 31 points. In the first quarter, he didn't go over his number, but he played 10 minutes. So if he's playing 10 minutes, I'm good with him scoring. Over 9.5 points in the first quarter. And then you look at without LeBron, this game right here against the Spurs, this was also the second half of a back-to-back. He played 10 minutes in the first quarter as well, scored 10 points. So I'm not really scared off of his minutes. And the matchup is phenomenal. I mean, he just played the Chicago Bulls, put up 17 points in the first quarter, put up 8 shots, 4 of 4 from the line, 3 of 5 from deep. It's just a great matchup. And the reason why I'm comfortable taking his full game point total as well, the matchup is really good. 10 of 15 players with Luka's scoring profile have hit the over against the Bulls. Even as the Bulls defense has been playing better, it's still, since the All-Star break, it's 3 of 4. The only one that missed was Maxey. And this was a game in which he only played like 10 minutes because the Sixers just got completely blown out from the jump. But guys similar to Luka have success against the Bulls. And it's a good matchup from a play type perspective as well, mostly being the pick and roll ball handler. They gave up the 5th most points per game. That's where the majority of Luka's points come from, and among the top in the NBA in terms of points via the pick and roll. So Luka, my official bet is his first quarter point prop over 9.5. If you can't bet the first quarter, I would take his full game as well. I think that's solid, taking his full game either over 30.5 minus 106 at FanDuel or over 29.5 minus 125 at DraftKings. I'm good with both of them. So that's our second official play. Next up, my third bet here is actually not SGA in the first quarter. It's Chet Holmgren in the first quarter, and I would take his full game as well. So if you can't get the over 3.5 first quarter points at minus 115, this was my official bet. This is exactly what I bet. No line movement here. You're able to get that at 3 books. If you can't bet this, I would still take it at, like I mentioned, at his full game point prop as well. The reason why, so SGA has been a first quarter king for me recently, or I should say he's been a first quarter king. He hasn't been as good recently. You look at his last, so his last 12 games, or excuse me, last 24 games, 12 of 24 looks pretty good. But, and I should have looked into this more last time, but with J-Will and with Chet in the lineup, it's only 5 of 20 games this year. Now, J-Will is currently questionable. Now, he was questionable last game. I thought he was going to play because he got upgraded to questionable, but he missed. I think he's going to play tonight. Even if it's games with Chet, SGA's only gone over his 10.5 first quarter point prop in 7 of 24. Whereas if you look at Chet and his first quarter point prop, it's 15 of 25 games on the year, and it's 14 of 24 specifically with SGA, and I think it's 11 of 20 specifically with J-Will and SGA. So the hit rate, 55%, isn't amazing. The matchup is, and that's why I am on this play. Now, from a guys similar to Chet, it doesn't look that good, only 3 of 9 to the over, but I'm okay with that because when you look at the play types here, I mean, it's perfect for Chet Holmgren. 22, so the first 3 play types, spot up, transition, free throws. The Grizzlies are the 9th worst, the 5th worst, the 3rd worst, and then, okay, they're top 10 guarding putbacks. Congratulations. Guess what? They're 10th worst guarding pick and roll rollmen. We don't have any data versus cuts, and they're 6th worst off of screens. It's just a phenomenal matchup for Chet against the Grizzlies, which is why I like him in the first quarter and why I'm comfortable with his full game as well. Now, it's a little bit scarier, only 8 of 20 with these guys, but the matchup is really, really good. In SGA, I would actually take his assists. So if you can't bet first quarter points and you don't want to take Chet in his, you don't want to take Chet's full game points, I like the assists for SGA a lot. Again, 9 of 20 isn't amazing, but it's a good matchup against the Grizzlies, who try really, really hard to get the ball out of the hands of the main playmaker like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, which is why you saw him have 8 assists last time these two teams played, 9 of 15 to the over. So a couple pivots here would be Chet full game and would be SGA over his assist prop as well. All right, that's our third pick. We got 2 more for you guys to lock in. And here's one, Walker Kessler over 3.5 first quarter points, -105 odds at Bet365. This was over 2.5, but I'm still cool taking it over 3.5. Only once in this stretch of games we're going to talk about did he land on exactly 3 points. Now, this was last game, and we did bet him over 2.5. So I will admit we got a little bit lucky that we were able to catch this one out. He took one shot, it was a 3-pointer, and he made it. Obviously, we're hoping for more field goal attempts than 1, but we were able to catch that out, and I'm good. If you look at the rest of the games, it's 4 or more in all, in 8 of the, or yeah, no, in all 9, right? It's all 9. And the other game he missed was in this Wizards game. He only played 3 minutes in the first quarter. This was the weird game. Those of you that remember it, he was initially ruled out the night before. He was ruled out the entire morning. He was ruled out, and then the Jazz randomly ruled him in, I think because they didn't want to get fined because they ruled him out due to rest, even though he hadn't played any time recently. So they ruled him back in. He only played 3 minutes in that first quarter, only played 15 minutes in that game. So you take out that outlier, it's 9 of 10 games. In the one game he missed, he scored 3. So I really like this one for Walker Kessler. The biggest thing here, Markkanen, John Collins are both out. That's where he scores the most, or that's important for him because he's going to play the starting center position. He's going to get everything down low. And it's a really good matchup. You look at the matchup here against the Rockets. 8 of 15 with his scoring profile have gone over. Now, one of them that missed was Kessler. Last time he played, had 11 points on an over-under of 11.5. The biggest thing for me here are these top 2 play types. Now, we don't have any data off of cuts, so I can't tell you whether that's good or bad. I can tell you that the Rockets are a top, or I should say bottom 10 defense guarding putbacks, and that's where 30% of Walker Kessler's points come from. The last time these two teams played, Walker Kessler played with John Collins, scored 5 points in the first quarter. And again, that was with Markkanen. Collins missed. But yeah, it was with one of those guys. He took 2 shots. He got to the line, scored 5 points. That's perfect. Played 10 minutes in the first quarter as well. His minutes in the first quarter, even outside of that Wizards game, can be a little bit spotty. His last 3, he's played 10. That's good. 9, that's good. And then 7 is a little bit scary. So we're hoping that he plays a little bit more than 7. But the other games, taking out this Wizards game, another one he only played 4, another weird game. But 7, 8, 7, 9, 8, and 8. So 7 would be a little bit scary, but he has done it more often than not when playing 7 minutes. If you can't take first quarter points, I like his rebounds as well. You can get 10.5, granted a pretty juiced minus 130, or you can get minus 125, it looks like. But the matchup for his rebounds is really good. It's 10 of 15 to the over with his rebounding style, including Walker Kessler himself. Played these guys a month ago, put up 17 rebounds against them. And the most important thing for the boards for Walker Kessler is no John Collins. He is really the one that's going to take away the most rebounds for Walker Kessler. You look at the season, it's 23 games. It's over 10.5 in 16 of those 23 games. If you wanted to take 12 plus for plus money, you could do that because that's still a 60% hit rate. So if I wasn't solely betting first quarters, this would absolutely have been a bet for me. It would have been Walker Kessler, 12 plus rebounds, plus whatever odds is the best offered price here. I like this one a lot, the Kessler boards. Another play that I like a lot in this one is Colin Sexton in the first quarter. The biggest thing for him is no Clarkson and no Markkanen. Those guys are both out in the first quarter. You can get over 5.5 for plus 110, or you can get over 4.5 for minus 120. I would just take the 5.5 for plus 110 because he's never landed on exactly 5 points. But it's over in 6 of 9 games without Clarkson, Collins, and Markkanen. The matchup is pretty good for him as well. Now, the 5 of 12 looks a little bit scary, but the biggest thing here is the Rockets give up a ton of points to guys with the ball in their hands because they don't send any help. That's why they give up the second fewest points per game to spot-up shooters, and the second most via the pick-and-roll ball handler, and the fourth most via isolation. So it's really pick your poison between Sexton and Kessler in terms of the first quarter. Sexton's also, if you want to take his over full game, you could do that as well. I don't see that's probably a better play, is the full game for Sexton as opposed to the first quarter. It's over in 7 of 9 games with these 3 guys out. And then again, it's a really good matchup. So his point prop is another one of my favorite pivots. That is our 4th play, and the official one, just to confirm, is this Walker Kessler over 3.5 first quarter points. And then, yeah, if you look at without Clarkson, it's over in 7 of 8, with the only miss being his last game where he hit the 3-pointer and then didn't do anything else. But I also meant to mention this. The first quarter rebounds for Kessler is insane as well. It's plus 140 at Bet365. It's over 3.5, which is a lot. 4 rebounds in the first is crazy. He had 6 rebounds in the first quarter last game, 5 the game before that, with all these guys out of the lineup. And again, the biggest thing for Kessler is without Collins and Markkanen. It's over in 7 of 11, and it's priced at plus 140, and it's a good matchup. So we look at the last time he played against the Rockets in the first quarter, 7 rebounds in the first quarter against the Rockets. So, and then that game he had 25 rebound chances. So full game rebounds, first quarter points. The full game points you could also take, but that one's a little bit scarier to me because he's definitely a guy that starts fast and then finishes slow. So I probably would rather go with the rebounds, but a lot of plays in this game and a lot of ways to back Walker Kessler. And then the last official pick of the video, I also have a lean for him as well. It's Deni Avdija over 4.5 first quarter points, minus 125 odds at Bet365. The biggest thing for him is no Jeremy Grant, who's currently listed as doubtful, so it's unlikely that he plays, and then no DeAndre Ayton as well. With those 2 guys out of the lineup, he has scored over 4.5 first quarter points in 10 of 13 games. He's actually averaging 6, so if you wanted to go 5.5 for plus money, you could. But he's landed on exactly 5, I think 3 times. Yeah, exactly 3 times. That's somewhat of a key number because if he makes 2 shots and one's a 3-pointer, then you're getting 5, but you're not getting 6. And even in the games that he missed, scored 4 points, went 1 of 2 from the line. Scored 4 points, only took 2 shots. So that one, we're hoping for a little bit more than that. And then this one scored 3 points, went 1 of 5 from the field, 1 of 4 from the free throw line. So that's a ton of usage in the first quarter. He just couldn't make anything, but that's fine. We love that volume. So without these 2 guys in the lineup, Avdija really, really does score a lot. The matchup is decent as well. Now, this is another one where it doesn't look good from similar players to Deni Avdija, but spot-up shooters, the Kings are the worst in the NBA. Allow the most, 30th out of 30. Free throws, he gets to the line a lot. They allow the 10th most points per game, meaning they just foul at the 10th highest rate. So Deni Avdija over 4.5 first quarter points is my 5th and final official pick of the video. Another pivot that I like in this game for Deni Avdija specifically is his assists. Now, this was over 4.5 at minus 120. I don't love it at minus 140. So if I was betting this right now, his assist, I would actually take it over 5.5, get 6 plus, which you can get for plus money. Obviously, the hit rate is a little bit scarier because he's landed on 5 assists a couple times, but look at those potentials. 15 potential assists, 11 potential assists. And then again, this is without Jimmy Grant and without DeAndre Ayton. He's averaging 10 potential assists in the 13 games without these two guys in the lineup, 2 above his full season average. And it's a really, really good matchup against the Kings. 10 of 15 guys. This is his position, so 10 of 15 forwards, that's his position, have hit their over against the Sacramento Kings. But they are, in general, an assist team. You want to know why? Look at where they give up points. Spot-up shooters, that's an assisted play. Pick and roll ball handlers, 10th fewest. That's not an assisted play. Isolation, 11th fewest. That's not an assisted play. But dribble handoffs, they're below average, but that's an assisted play. So they're kind of like a ball pressure, get the ball out of the hands of whoever has the ball in their hands, I guess is the best way to phrase that. So it's the first quarter points for Deni, but if you can't bet that, it would be the assists. I only like the first quarter because it's just starting fast with those two guys out. But if you're giving me the full game, it would be the assists. That's our 5th and final pick of the video. A couple other leans for you guys to lock in, just in case you can't bet the first quarter. And just to recap some of the leans that I gave out. These are non-first quarter bets. It's Deni Avdija assists. It's Walker Kessler rebounds. It's Colin Sexton on the points. It's SGA on the assists. Where is that? SGA, come on. On the assists. This one will be 8+ because I'm not touching those odds. Another one that I haven't mentioned yet. I mentioned this last time the Lakers and the Bulls played, but it's Josh Giddey and his rebounds plus assists. Now these numbers have been skyrocketing. It was like 14.5 for a while. And as you can tell, if we go down to 14.5, I mean, that hit rate for him was absolutely insane. Or maybe it was 13.5. He needed to get 14. Insane, 17 of 24 games. Even at 17.5, if you look at his last, we're looking at his last 12 games. It's 8 of 12. And the most important thing here, look at this game against the Lakers. 10 rebounds, 14 rebound chances, 17 assists. 17 assists, 24 potential assists. So if you don't want to take the RA, the next thing would be the assist. Over 8.5 at -110. I think it's a really, really good price for Josh Giddey. His playmaking has been awesome. And the Lakers have been getting smoked by assist props recently. Like 5 of 8 with Giddey's playmaking style is okay. It's, what's this? It's like 3 of 3 basically since the All-Star break. So that looks fine. It's really guys that have the ball in their hands a lot. Like Halliburton had 17 assists against the Lakers last night. So Josh Giddey on the assists or Giddey on the rebounds plus assist. You want to do a sprinkle, triple-double, sprinky, double-double. Both of those are good looks as well. But hopefully you're able to lock in some of those leans. The official bets that I have for you today, we'll recap and then we'll get out of here. Deni Avdija, first quarter points over 4.5, -125. Chet, first quarter points over 3.5, -115. AD, Anthony Davis over 5.5, first quarter points, -105. Walker Kessler over 3.5, also -105. And then Luka, 10+ first quarter points, +110 odds at Bet365. That's all we got. I appreciate, appreciate everybody for watching the video, who's been rocking with me. Remember to check out Props Madness, link to them in the description of the video. I have a link to my Tails account as well, which is where I send all my plays out. This is, I put a link to this. It's basically like if you want to tail the plays that I give out, but you want to lock them in early before the odds change, or you don't always have time to watch the YouTube videos, but you still want to tail, that's what the Tails account is for. This is how it comes over. I kind of recap, like, this is the day, this is the bet, play 5. The reason why I have like NBA player prop is because we're in dong season. So I also have home run picks as well, which you can see here. The cool part is if the odds pull through their line shopping tool, you can actually, it gets sent over like this, where you can actually like click place bet and it'll take you to the sportsbook. They don't have the first quarter market on that tool yet, so I have to send it out like this. But this is how it comes over. Screenshot of the bet, a little bit of a blurb, which is basically just my talking points for the video. Or it comes, comes over like this, where you can actually go ahead and lock it in. But that's all we got. Appreciate you guys for watching. We're risking 5.5 units to profit 5.1. Let's have another 5-0 day. Why not? Let's do that. But yeah, thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to bet responsibly, and have a good one.